Hey guys, so this is my first time doing one of these videos. What I eat and drink in a day. I share pretty much every day what I eat on Instagram, but generally mostly pictures. But I'm gonna do a full video, mic, the whole thing, so bear with me. I start off, well, first of all, I'm on day 7, so 1 week of barley juice, grass powder, juices, smoothie, and fruit. So check how green that is. So I fill one of these guys, 16 ounce, with my structured water, which I have in this flask. Mix it up really good. And I'm telling you, you guys, this shit is so green. You got to be careful. It really stains stuff. It like goes all over your mouth, but I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love the taste. It's got like a creamy sort of milkiness, which go figure because cows eat grass and therefore milkiness, I guess. But I took my iodine and then I have my zinc and my B12, which you can take underneath your tongue. I take the iodine separately and then I wait a little bit. I'm doing myofunctional therapy, so I'm supposed to drink everything, tongue on the roof of my mouth, open, and then swallow. Funny, huh? But I'm telling you guys, this myofunctional therapy has been helping my bite, my occlusion, and popping in my jaw, my TMJ, significantly. It's been about 2 months. So I tend to like chug this because it just tastes so good. And it's, besides the water that I have to take the iodine, it's the first thing that I drink. And I'm realizing I have this mic on, so you probably hear me gulping. But anyways, I'll finish this later. I'll make the smoothie now. But, oh, it didn't get really green. It usually gets green all over. Okay, so smoothie-wise, we have different bananas. So we got this kind and we got this kind, but they're both almost equally ripe. Sometimes when the bananas ripen up, they get darker because they're more bruised, but this is not overripe. Like this still has firmness. How you can tell is if there's spots and it's got give, it's soft. Bananas being ripe are super important because you don't want to eat underripe bananas due to the starch, and then they like really curb hunger, so you can't eat really many of them. I'm learning so much, you guys. It is a little over 2 months since I've been, I would say 100% raw. I mean, initially I was doing a little bit of things like miso and coconut aminos and different things, but like most raw peeps, they use things like that. So I just take off any of the little bruising, making sure it's focused because it tends to go out of focus as well, but it looks like it's fine. Okay, so I do at least 3 up to 5 bananas. And I do a variety of organic, I think I'll do 4. I do a variety of organic fruits. Sometimes it's fruits that I freeze. Otherwise, it's a variety of organic fruits. And today I have dark sweet cherries, which really just make the whole smoothie so much sweeter. And I've got mangoes. I found that a lot of the organic mangoes are really, really underripe. And you can tell by the color. Like these are really ripe, but the more just sort of yellow and greenish tint that you have, the less ripe they are. Okay, so make sure you see that. So I'm gonna put some mangoes. And I just do a variety. So that's from Natural Grocers. This is Woodstock's. Cherries. Sometimes I do a whole bag of cherries. I never have a plan. I just sort of do whatever I have. And then these are organic strawberries. With strawberries, it's, you know, it's really hit or miss. A lot of them are also unripe. Like, that's not great. And then eventually I want to not use this, but I've been using lucuma powder for quite some time. And it looks like a canistel. I haven't researched it, but it looks like an egg fruit. So that's lucuma, right? And it has a sort of a mapley, creamy, it's raw, it's organic, just dried lucuma powder. And then I put like 3 to 4 scoops of that, of my spoon, my little compostable spoon. And then I generally tend to wait until that's not totally frozen, but these fruits have been out for probably 15-20 minutes. And then my structured Mountain Valley spring water. We'll get that in there. And then we blend it up, which I am not going to put you guys through that loud noise, but I can show you that in a second. All right, so fully blended. I love the colors with the strawberry and the cherry. And the Hubs is also fully raw. Again, eating some of the other, little condiment things, and it's been over a month for him. And then, you guys, I scrape out the blender because there's so much left in there. So anyways, it makes things a lot simpler. And I usually take a little bit, the smaller one, he gets this one. So we both get smoothies. And then this is the Daily Green Boost, right? And it is just certified organic barley juice grass powder. Get that focus, y'all. But yeah, so that's it for now. And then the rest of the day, I'm going to be making a fresh juice. That's usually with cucumber as the base, apple sometimes, celery sometimes, pineapple, especially the core for the enzymes. And then ginger, and the greens will be like local kale or cilantro. And then, so I try to have the juice beforehand and then drink my smoothie. So I like to let that get to like as close to room temperature as possible, just because I have IBS. And so the digestion is still not great, although it's gotten definitely better. But since I've been raw, it's also just really obvious, like every little thing that I eat, if I eat too much, right? Especially if I eat in excess, if I eat too late, all these things are just like so much more pronounced and so much more like unavoidable. So I'm definitely having to tweak a lot of things. But so yeah, juice, smoothie, and then fruit. And I'll probably include in the video kind of what I was eating over the last 2 months, how things have changed. It was like sprout meals, sometimes dehydrated meals, dehydrated goodies, mushrooms, sprouted grains, veggies, etc. with the sprouts. It was always sprouts. And then, like I said, it's been 7 days. I haven't eaten any sprouts. The vegetables I'm getting are in my juice, like the celery and the cucumber, the greens, the herbs, etc. And so like, and definitely more toward the beginning, tons more food, tons more fruit. But I'm realizing like my energy source, the amount of energy that I have will be dependent upon how much my body is digesting. So the less that my body digests, the more energy I have. And so like yesterday I had for dinner a cherimoya, like half of a cherimoya, some durian, and then some breadfruit. And then before that I had some mamey. So that was like the solid food. And even that was too much. So today I might just do like, I have to share the cherimoya because it's our favorite. So half of the cherimoya, maybe something else. And I want to stop it by about 7 so I can get to bed between 9 to 10. So see you later. Okay, so sorry that the shot's not great, but my phone doesn't switch over automatically when I start recording in selfie mode. So I do a baking soda soak with an antimicrobial for at least 15 minutes. And this is all of the goodies for the day plus extra because I always like to keep fresh stuff on hand. And then we got some pineapple for the juice, which didn't ripen up properly. And then these are other bananas that I like for the smoothies, which are so much better. Thai bananas, burro bananas, which are like a Filipino banana. And we've got a couple of jackfruits. Sometimes the jackfruits can mold a little bit because they don't ripen exactly the same, but it's still got green and it's still pretty hard. So I'm definitely not going to be cutting that today, probably tomorrow, but I'm going to get going on my juice. Okay, so I just chopped everything up. We've got the local baby kale and cilantro. We've got that unripe pineapple, which isn't ideal, but it's an organic pineapple. I'm not going to waste it. We've got a little bit of Meyer lemon, ginger, some stalks of celery, local, I forget the name of the apple, had green skin, a couple of cucumbers. Everything's organic except the apples are local. And just like with the smoothie, I don't really like go proportions or do an exact thing. It's kind of like whatever I have, what's available. You know what I'm saying? And we've got the Omega juicer, which I've had for years. I'm just going to do a little bit of it and then I'll pause it because I'm sure you don't want to see me juicing this thing. I do try to mix as I go so I don't get like gulps where it's just like one flavor. And then I try to do the greens first just because they're really fibrous. So I try to get rid of the greens first initially. And then I notice with the apples, if they get really mealy, it clogs it up like crazy. The thing that really sort of cleans it out, that produces the most juice, is the celery. The cucumber has quite a bit of actual, I guess, flesh, I would call it. So I'm going to do this for a couple of minutes. Oh, and by the way, speaking of juicing, that is how I originally got into this lifestyle. What was it? 22 years ago. IBS, didn't know it was IBS, didn't know I had IBS for years, you guys. Migraines, hormonal migraines, lethargic, food sensitivities, the whole thing. And I watched an infomercial with the juice man. And he had so much energy, so much vitality, and he was like really up there in years. And I was like so motivated. I was so inspired, right? So I got a Juice Man juicer in 2000. Started buying organic produce, like at the Safeway, which is kind of like, you know, Albertsons, KFC, Safeway, Harps, wherever you are, Vons. And Safeway actually has a really good, decent size organic section. So now I've decided to just talk to you while I do this. And I would get my, you know, kale and cucumber and apples, the whole thing. And so that's how my journey started. And about a year later, I watched A Diet for a New America with my health conditions. So I already had, you know, the healing goal in mind, right? And I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is freaking terrifying, right? So I decided to try being vegan, and I found Giuliano's raw uncooked book. You know, tons of olive oil, making like namashoyu, raw soy sauce, lemon dressing. He's like, oh, this is so good that people, you know, also drink it as a soup in my restaurant. Not what you want to do, y'all. But yeah, years later, so that was in 2001, maybe 2001. Years later, I think it was maybe 2015 or 16, I actually got to go to Giuliano's restaurant and meet him, and we ordered a ton of stuff, and oh my God, it was the most epic and amazing. Doesn't matter if, you know, you're not into vegan or raw. His food is so beautiful, so vibrant, so full of flavor. I mean, just incredible. And I don't, you know, I think he closed that and then he had a pop-up, and honestly, I don't know what he's been doing. Oh, so you see the juice is getting overfilled, and I need to deal with that. But anyway, so there's my start. I'll be back. All right, so that's all done. Look at that, it fit almost exactly. Look how green and vibrant that is. Oh my goodness, I might just have to take a photo real quick. All right, just took a bunch of photos, give it a sip. Okay, let me also tell you, so I don't even really like green juices, like at all, especially when there's too much greens in it and too many herbs. But this combination, you know, just some apple, some pineapple, or maybe even the Meyer lemon, and not too much, you know, more cucumber, less celery too. I did celery juice for 6 months. Oh my goodness. because of IBS, it made my bowel movements even more loose. TMI, but yeah. A bit of ginger. The Hubs does not like too much ginger, and he'll drink a majority of this. I'll probably just drink about that much because I don't need too much. Anyways, to wrap up the thing about Giuliano, it was definitely not sustainable to, you know, jump into veganism with raw food, gourmet stuff. But anyway, so there's the pulp that goes all into the compost. And some people like to use this in their uncooking, dehydrating. I'm not into all that, so that just goes right into the compost. But yeah, so it definitely wasn't sustainable. And now 22 years later, well, actually 19 years later, decided to go whole food plant-based again, transitioned, you know, ate so much meat throughout the years, even did 30-day carnivore, did the primal diet, all raw, including raw dairy, raw seafood, and raw meat, which I can make a whole separate video about. Crazy. Talk about being willing to do any diet to heal. Like seriously, 2 months of that, 30 days of carnivore. I ate 2 years, went 2 years without fruit, 5 years gluten-free, sugar-free, at least processed sugar-free. I've done so many things, you guys. And then back to the juice though, I worked at a juice and smoothie bar, a little cafe for my friend, you know, organic goodies. And even then I just did not like juice. So for people that don't like juice, I would say heavy on the cucumber for sure. A little bit of apple. You don't want too much fruit or sugar in it. You know, not too much greens, maybe a little bit of ginger here and there. The pineapple core. You don't even have to use the pineapple, but how beautiful that is. All right, so we'll see you in the next meal. Okay, so it's lunchtime for the Hubs, and he eats a lot more food than I do. We've got cherimoya strawberries, pear, we've got cherries and papaya I've already cut up, honeydew, oh snap, jackfruit, and then I'm gonna finally be having my smoothie. I think it's a little bit, I like it a bit cold. I mean, I like it really cold, but it makes me cough and my stomach hurts, but yeah, so that's going to be a little bit warmer than I like. Oh, we've got some burro bananas, and these might actually be slightly overripe. The thing with bananas too is that you get some spots that are overly ripe and other spots that aren't totally ripe, so it's a pain when they gas them and do all the things. But yeah, let's get this fruit salad put together. That gorgeous cherimoya, oh my goodness. So the Hubs will probably eat like half or 3/4 of this, and then we save the rest for either a little bit later as a snack or as a part of his dinner. Oh, yes. And then I have this right here because I don't use my stove being raw. So this is my myofunctional therapy lessons. I'm in session 7, week 8. So you have different exercises as you progress. So I'm not going to be necessarily swallowing my liquids like that all the time, but maybe, because I don't know the future exercises, maybe, you know, some form of that is the proper way to swallow your liquids and your food, so you're not using all these other muscles to compensate. But yeah, there you go. Last video of the day, we've got the Hubs fruit salad. So you finished the fruit salad I made earlier, and I made him a new one with just some mangoes, pears, little mandarins, and burro bananas. And then we've got, these are little Indian, they're not actually cucumbers. It's some kind of a gourd, but they taste really like cucumbers. Oh, you know what's really insane is, since I'm not eating any salt, oil, herbs, spices, nothing, like the raw garlic is crazy. Like when I open the fridge, when I am kissing my husband, it's so pronounced. It's really, really insane. Anyway, so kraut, the little pickles, sprout salad, and for me, I'm going to be sharing the rest of this cherimoya, and we've got champagne mangoes, and then we've got baby atolfa mangoes, which are really similar, but the baby ones are the best mangoes. So sweet, so creamy, incredible, and burro bananas. And so yeah, that is dinner. If I want more, I'll just probably have either more mango or more banana. And then, speaking of mangoes, so these are the champagne mangoes. And I got 38 of them, and they're all still ripening. I churned them over just to make sure, they don't get too ripe. And then we got tons of bananas ripening. I know those look super ripe, but they're still firm. They're still firm, you guys. So those can ripen up another day or two. For our bananas, pears, and waiting for these mamets. Oh my gosh, they are seriously so good. So yeah, we've got our little ripening dining room table for the rest of our fruits. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what questions you have below. Ciao.